Yeah, it's us. Discover South Florida, coming to you live once again from Podcast Junkie Studios in downtown Boca Raton. As if he needed an introduction, it's Larry Mastropieri, broker, owner of the Mastropieri Group, once again in the house to talk about all things South Florida real estate and what's happening. And I'm John Laws of Discover South Florida, here to tag along and introduce a lot of the topics. And as usual, just sort of riff and look pretty. You know, I do what I can. I try, and that's all you can do anymore. Sort of like selling Al Capone's Hibiscus Island estate, as if there was a lot of trying involved. There was a beautiful place once upon a time, and it's still an incredible plot. Because the Capone mansion, in case you're wondering, I was like, I wanted to visit. No, it was demolished in 2023. But there is some news regarding that, as it has just been sold again, the lot, for $21 million. That's really good.
Just the dirt.
Just the dirt.
21 mil, baby.
Yes, but I guess there's a little more to this because that mansion disappeared, but the gangster premium did not. I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly because it was sold for $21 million, and yet there's now a brand new mansion elsewhere on Hibiscus Island.
There's another mansion that just sold as well for, what was it, a cool $51.5 million.
Oh, wow.
On Hibiscus Island. $4,900 per square foot. It's an all-time record for both Hibiscus and Palm Island. So I believe, let's confirm this, Al Capone's deal was on Palm Island. $21 million. And we could, Eric, let's throw on the screen the location of, just throw the Palm Island one on the screen. Yeah, so you can zoom out. So there's Hibiscus and Palm Island right there. Boom. Right. And so we're looking at, what are we looking at? Palm Island right there, right?
Was it Floyd Mayweather? Who just had one there recently and was going through a whole bunch of trouble? Because, and the reason I remember it, the reason I remember it is, you were discussing location. It's like, what's the view here? I'm looking at the highway.
Yeah.
This one's a little different.
Hold on.
It's the same island.
If you zoom in, let's see. Is it on the other side?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's on the whatever. That's Palm Island. I don't know where. We'll look up exactly which lot where this traded. 93 Palm Ave. But yeah, to your point, if you're looking south, you're looking at the highway, and then you're looking at the cruise ships.
Yeah.
The port. That doesn't seem like the best view. Yet these things are trading in the tens of 20s of millions of dollars, right? Just for the dirt alone. Let's throw on the screen. So let's see here. So Palm Island, let's see if I can see it easily. So 93 Palm Island. You can throw mine on the screen if you want, Eric. So 93 Palm is right here. So it's got a better view, but not amazing,
right. It's not like, now I can see other houses on the other side.
It's fine. Listen, you're like minutes to South Beach, and then you're also minutes to downtown. It's literally the in-between.
Yeah.
It's you can't get more in the middle than this, right? So this isn't bad. The other one we were looking at had the opposite view, the southern-facing view the other day, whatever day that was we were talking about. Mm-hmm. But look at this thing. This is torn down, nothing's here, and they paid $21 million for this. It's crazy. Here, let me show you on the screen as well. So let's see, what do they got? They have, I'm going to sort this via price. This is the island for your benefit. Here's all the comps on the island. So we got Palm Island, Hibiscus Island, and let's see what the most expensive thing is, which I think is what we talked about already. Yep, the highest sold here, right here. This is the one we're about to get into. So.
And, when you had the area map pulled up just there, for what seems like a pretty limited amount of residential plots, it looked like there's a lot of transactions going on. Am I wrong? I
look at this.
I see a lot of dots.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 transactions in the last 365 days.
That seems like a lot for...
That is a lot. Let's confirm that that's 365 days before it. Yeah, it's 100% 365 days. 12 transactions. Things are happening here. How many actives do they have? Let's count that out. They got a lot of actives. Look at that. Everybody's selling in this neighborhood. What's going on? And they're getting some done. Some are sitting, right? Like, let's look at this. How many days on market is this stuff sitting? 72, 57. There's some that are sitting at 223 before it's sold. 20 days. So some of these things are moving. The cheapest thing on this island, I don't know if I believe this. Let's see. There might be a little, so there's something over here that's more of a condo. Looks like they have a little condo on the island. That's interesting, huh? Wow. Hey, if you want to be on Hibiscus Island, you can do it for $675,000. That's kind of neat.
Well, compared to a lot of those, that's actually kind of cheap.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of crazy. All right, look.
I would hope it's not a dump.
You could be hanging out with the sorts of Al Capone.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so who actually bought this lot? Let's talk about that.
Oh, Ilya Karpov, the Russian mogul and former general director of the OGO Group, of course.
So, and his story's a little wild, right?
Well, he's Russian.
So the OGO Group went bankrupt in 2013.
That is
correct. He
correct.
moves to the States, has money after it goes bankrupt, and now he frequently invests in real estate since then. And he does some development stuff, and he's done this before. So this probably isn't a deal for him specifically to personally live in, right? It's probably a deal where he plans to develop. And my guess is he's looking at numbers like this $51 million transaction that, again, like he bought Capone's spot, which kind of has a cool history. There's probably a Capone premium, right? Which looks north at the island, and the other dude just paid $51 million for what looks south. And then, by the way, there's no photos on there anymore, which is annoying, but that's where this lot was. It's 2 lots though, so this one's a little different, right? So you can take it back.
On the 51?
Yeah.
Now, my question is, when you see all those transactions with it, like, how many people do you think, what percentage actually live there?
Yeah.
Does anyone?
10%?
You think? I mean, just an educated guess. I'm just curious.
Live there permanently?
Well, or at least homesteaded.
Homesteaded. There's probably a handful that are homesteaded. I'd give it 25%.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair number. In a lot of these condo buildings that, whether they're luxury condo buildings and or non-luxury condo buildings that are on the water, I mean, that's a fact. Yeah. That number stays true, less than 50 usually. So this other lot that traded, or this other property that broke the record on the island for $51.5 million and sold for $4,905 per square foot, was purchased back in 2021 for $19 million. So they paid $19 million, they built a house on it and sold it for $51.5 million. Okay. And by the way, again, it was a double lot, so it's unique. But if you do this math here, and I was like doing this in my head earlier, 10,500 square foot home, $2,000 a foot, maybe, depending on what you're putting in it. But my guess is $2,000 a foot or more, right? That's a $20-ish million construction bill. You might be in this thing for $40 million.
Oh, just the construction?
$19 million for the purchase. 20 million maybe.
Okay.
Maybe you could do it for less, but again, you're usually above 1,500 a foot on these builds, and it's saying the home is a 10,000 square foot home. Okay. So, maybe 15 million they did it for, right? So this guy, did a lot of work for, $10 million over the course of, again, 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. So it's interesting.
Maybe it was a passion project.
Passion project, exactly. It's interesting because, we've analyzed this too a fair amount, myself and my wife, who's a builder, and you start to look at this stuff and you start to do the math, and then you look at the amount of capital required to get these things done, and you start to say, well, I don't know. Do we really want to do this?
It just seems like such high risk.
Yeah.
Unless you're just off the charts wealth and you're not worried about it.
And a lot of these guys who are doing these bigger ones, they're, call it syndicating the deal. They're raising capital or getting financing. Not all of them. This guy might have done it on his own. But again, they usually have multiple investors diversifying that risk profile. So that $40 million that they have allocated to do this deal, that's kind of spread around multiple people. Let's see here. So, who was this guy? Dennis, right? This guy named Dennis. The seller entity is managed by Wilson Real Estate's Dennis Smikolov, but its sole shareholder and true owner is George
Bakiashvili.
great.
Yeah.
You did great there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one guy built this thing, and it's very interesting. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations to all of them, and hopefully,
Congrats, guys.
Well, it's funny that my final thought, that they tore down that Capone mansion. I figured, for the sake of a name like Al Capone, that you would keep it together. I don't know if at some point if it was ever open as a museum and maybe it didn't work out, but that you kind of could try to resell the history of a place like that. But
I think that's part of the bet, because when you buy a property and its lot is half the size of this guy who just sold for $51.5 million, but you paid $21 million for the lot, and you got to do a 7,000 square foot home on that. And if you just round up $2,000 a foot, you're at 14 million in spend. Now all of a sudden you're quickly at 35 million. Are you going to get 45 million for this thing? It feels kind of tight because that lot that they had is much bigger. So I don't know. I'm not sold on this. I get the Capone premium. That could be pretty cool, but I don't know. You really gotta. You're making a bet, man.
Hey, it's like, hey kids, you want to see where one of the most notorious gangsters of the 20th century died of syphilis? Because here it is. Anyway.
On that note, let's move on.
We're moving on. So
this is big.
Yeah.
This is big.
Brightline changed South Florida real estate, but the question is becoming, who's paying for the train? Because the debt just keeps loading up. The train's moving fast, but the debt is moving faster.
I like that one.
That's a good hook. Way to go.
But Brightline has powerful friends. The South Florida Passenger Railroad is buried in debt, and its own auditor doubts it can survive. Yet real estate leaders are lining up to defend it as too important to lose. And this is the thing. I think they're making the bet they're too big to fail, right?
It feels like that.
Yep.
I mean, it was an incredible investment, and I'm sure once upon a time, as we've talked about this topic a few times now, they wouldn't have made this kind of investment if they didn't think it was financially sound to make that. I don't know.
Let's talk about it, because, here's the argument. And this has nothing to do with Brightline per se making more money, maybe indirectly, but their argument, the train. So these are the real estate guys making this argument. Their argument is that the train has catalyzed billions in development across Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach, and it's the crown jewel of the region, and we can't afford to derail it, even if it carries $4.9 billion in debt. Crazy, which it's struggling to pay. So that's the deal.
And the thing is, it's still doing better in terms of generating revenue.
Yeah.
Like it has gone up, I believe.
17%.
In just the first half of this year.
Yeah, January to June 2026, ridership rose 16% and revenue rose 17%. So the Brightline is getting better, but when you look at the math on their net profits from 25 to basically close to present day, their net profits are not profits, they're losses. $58 million in Q3 of 2025. Then Q4, they did a little better, $55 million. All right. And now Q1 of 2026, we're down to $54 million. So at that rate, we got 54 more quarters to go before they break even. If they're shaving $1 million a quarter off their losses, they ain't gonna make it. But this is what I also found interesting. What was I about to say here?
What got me was the Fort Lauderdale bankruptcy attorney, Chad Van Horn, was quoted in the article as saying, a deal gets made or it will happen in Chapter 11, and that Brightline, quote unquote, isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, interesting. I could buy into that. But you were saying earlier that, hey, they wouldn't have made this decision to do this thing if they didn't think they were going to make money, which I agree with. But when you look at their forecasts from 2018, this is bananas. 2018 study projected 6.6 million riders and nearly $400 million in fare revenue by 2023. And a 2024 report forecasted 8 million riders by 2026. And I think their ridership, 1.79 million for the first quarter. So
this is the other reason, though, that I believe it. When did the Orlando station open? Pretty recently still, relatively speaking. What, a couple years? So they knew all of this was going on already, and they were still determined to open the next station in Orlando, which I personally was excited about. I mean, I have friends up there. I haven't made a trip up there just yet, but I absolutely would because I'm lazy and I don't feel like making the drive. I don't know. It just...
Oh, we use it. I use it.
I was going to say, I know you've used it at least a couple times.
The whole thing, though, here is it has also badly missed the forecast sold to the bond investors. And that's the whole thing. It's like they misforecast the heck out of this thing, and they're losing money like crazy. And by the way, they're still pushing to expand, right? I don't know if you saw
from Orlando to Tampa. That was and that was part of the plan, even when we were still discussing the Orlando project as it was being developed.
Yeah, so which is wild. And this is where I go back to they know what they're doing. Yeah. They're just going to keep pumping this thing up, and everyone's going to have to deal with it. Who's going to have to deal with it? Most likely the taxpayers, or somebody's going to lose their shirt at the end of the day. And the Brightline will still exist. And this is what sometimes happens with big infrastructure projects. And overinvestment or investment that doesn't make sense financially, and then everything blows up, but you're left with the infrastructure and everybody uses it into perpetuity in the future. And we've seen that with, what do we see that with? Internet cables, right? As an example, during the .com boom, right? Stuff like that. So this is common.
And I'll say this, if you want a cautionary tale of things that can go wrong, I still look at California and that high-speed elevated rail that's gotten nowhere.
Super dope.
Right. Yeah, that they barely, I guess I'm not going to get political, but you've seen everything that's gone on with it, all the billions they put into it, and they like barely got it off the ground. Literally, I mean, barely off the ground. And it's like, at least the Brightline's here.
Yeah, it's working, it's running, and it serves a purpose for sure. And it's got a lot of people running on this thing, right? So, yeah. But again, I think they buy into the fact that it's too big to fail themselves. And so they've just made the decision to keep pushing, keep doing this thing. And speaking about big infrastructure, let's move to our next discussion, which is data centers, which could arguably be considered another bubble in itself, right?
Yeah.
We will see.
Don't tell me that. I get apprehensive enough about all my tech stocks, but everybody wants ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini, your AI of choice, and yet nobody wants the data centers. It's like a power plant. I am absolutely baffled by the amount of pushback that's been going on with these data centers. And I don't know what to believe. I don't even know what to believe anymore, because I'll see one day everybody saying, oh my God, it's going to use this much more water or whatever. We're going to be a barren desert by such and such, on and on. And it's like back and forth. And I'm just like, but like the amount of misinformation that's always out on the internet anyway, because it's the internet. But I'm just like kind of sitting there going, I don't even know what the hell to think anymore.
Here's our options right now. You either put a ton of these data centers everywhere and we have no water in the next 10 years, or we don't do that and China has robots running around all over the place.
I know, right?
We're the slaves
Usain
to
Bolt's
China's
record.
robots. You got two choices right now. China's either going to beat us in this race, and then we're going to be all speaking Chinese, Mandarin, sorry.
Yeah. Right.
Or we do this, or we put a ton of data centers everywhere. And
again, it's like it almost feels like a disinformation campaign from China or something. Because why are they able to do it and we're not?
They do what they want.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. It just baffles me, because I'll give you an example. And it's funny because this isn't like a clear-cut issue for, our bipolar political system. It's not like one side of the aisle is totally for it and the other side against. I mean, there's so much gray area on who feels what with this. And I've seen the campaign ads a bunch of times with that Byron Donalds running for governor. And what I noticed about it, because he made a point in the end of one of his campaign commercials, whenever I saw it a couple months ago, that he was against the data centers being put here and whatever. And I kid you not. And you can go back and look. There's a shot, and it's like B-roll generic footage of, a woman getting groceries and she can't afford them or something. That's AI. I'm telling you. I go back and look. I mean, just to clarify, because there's one of those that, like, I almost never tweet, but I almost like tweet them like, I understand if you got to take a stance on whatever on an issue, but then don't turn around and use AI to say you don't want AI. Like, what are we doing, guys?
That's great. That's great.
Because again, it's like double check that, but it was like I saw the ads on the lowest tier of Hulu or Paramount or something, and get the commercials, and I was like, wait a minute, no, you did not just do that. Anyway, so that's my thought. I'm beside myself over that.
Well, let's talk about what McKinsey projects. They project $6.7 trillion in global data center investment by 2030, $5.2 trillion driven by just AI alone, and U.S. construction just hit an all-time high of $50 billion in data center projects. I think, John, this is happening, whether people push back or not. You might be able to defend a certain portion of your neighborhood or your county or whatever, but that data center is going to go somewhere at some point. It might not be in your county or it might not be in that location. This is happening. We all just better, prepare for it.
And one of the ones that we talked about a few months ago was Project Tango in Loxahatchee near Wellington.
Yep.
And there was all the pushback on that. And it was right next to the power plant. And I remember kind of ranting about it at the time. I'm like, it's next to the power plant. Like, I cannot think of a more perfect place for it, assuming that it's out of the way of everything else. It's like I can't even make a judgment on it because I've never actually seen a data center with my own eyes. You know what I mean? Like the way they're described, I'm picturing like a volcano and like lava is going around and stuff. And just like, it's like Mordor out of Lord of the Rings or something, like every one of these data centers. I don't even know.
Yeah, that is confusing to me. They voted to deny it, right?
Yeah.
So Project Tango was a $2.6 billion 1 million square foot hyperscale center, they call it, proposed for Loxahatchee, which is, to John's point, near Loxahatchee Groves and Wellington. And it was right next to a power plant. And it's kind of wild that they're pushing back on the data center when it's right next to a power plant.
I'm like, the power plant's okay.
It's the most industrial location you can find, probably in Palm Beach County, yet we can't put it there. I get it. They probably would push back on having a power plant built there today too, if that was, if that was an opportunity. And so I get it. People just don't want any industrial close by. But this is like as far west in Palm Beach County as you can go, at least in the main area of Palm Beach County. And so on July 15th, the hearing drew, I don't know, hundreds of people, 80 plus speakers, and everyone was pretty much against this, right? Which was crazy. And they voted to deny it. The commissioners voted to deny it because, gosh, if anybody voted to approve that, they were losing their spot in the commission on the next vote, right? For sure.
And clearly people are passionate about this. It has to affect me directly, practically, for me to understand, and it hasn't, and I'm not somebody sitting there like making AI videos and all these things all the time, but using it for our other functions of work, it is an absolute godsend.
Absolutely.
And you just know it's going to get better. Now, bear in mind, if I had just gotten laid off by it or something, I would be out there with the pitchforks too, saying, don't you put this here. But again, it's like I have to believe this is coming whether you like it or not. So you might as well put yourself in the best position to have it, would be my thought. But I don't know. Whatever.
Amen. So on that note, Project Tango got denied on July 15th. And then, this is developing news now, the county is moving to formalize. So this is Palm Beach County. So Palm Beach County is moving to formalize a 1-year moratorium on all large-scale data center projects, defined as 50 plus megawatts of peak load. It takes a first reading vote this week, with a second formalizing vote tentatively set for September 24th. Yeah. This is pretty wild. My guess is this goes through.
I have no idea.
To have a moratorium. I guess during this moratorium, they're going to take some time, reflect, think about themselves.
Larry, these moratoriums, I just don't understand it, because as we're going to continue to discuss here later with the West Palm Beach projects, I'm like, what? Maybe I don't understand what a moratorium is, because some of these, it's like, yeah, that's the worst moratorium ever. They didn't even stop anything.
So what John's referencing is the moratorium on all waterfront construction projects at a certain scale in West Palm Beach. Yet every time we open up our computer to talk real estate, we look at more and more West Palm Beach projects. We just can't stop talking about it.
Like the next one.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. So city approval clears path for Banyan Tree Residences, which is a 25-story luxury tower winning unanimous vote in West Palm Beach. So clearly all the people in the decision-making process thought this was great. So what moratorium?
So, Eric, why don't you throw on the screen where Hibiscus is, 400 Hibiscus Street, this property. So West Palm Beach's downtown luxury pipeline just cleared another one. Mm-hmm. The city's downtown action committee gave unanimous approval to the Banyan Tree Residences. 25 stories, 88-unit condo tower, 1 block from City Place, designed by the renowned firm OMA. Okay.
Yes.
This is it. It will be the first residential project in the U.S. to carry the Singapore-based luxury hospitality brand Banyan Tree. Another sign of how upmarked the city has moved. Okay. Oh, upmarket the city has moved. Yeah, I mean, the West Palm is drawing attention from all over the world.
Yeah, and Eric, if you zoom back into it, I kind of smirked, because if you look just to the west of that, when I was saying a couple of weeks ago with 10 and 15 City Place, how that's going to dwarf that entire area between the Banyan project going on right here, the other one that I believe is just south of that, next to the huge parking lot, which is the project the Cohen brothers are doing. It's like, well, okay, I guess it's not going to be the biggest guy around there for long.
And I drove down that, I don't know.
Oh, were you there today?
2 days ago, 3 days ago, whatever, a Saturday night. And wow, everything is just going off on that street. It was like actually overwhelming. It was like huge. So it was crazy. So it's chaos in downtown West Palm right now with construction. And again, we're drawing more international developers and or brands moving into this market, which is a signal that, well, this West Palm Beach market is getting a spotlight from around the world. It's no longer just or it's on its way to no longer be this tertiary market outside of Fort Lauderdale and Miami, right? This is becoming a market all on its own. So, yeah.
We don't even talk about Vanderbilt anymore.
Yeah,
we're getting a Vanderbilt there.
Yeah.
The Harvard of the South, Larry.
The Harvard of the South. They would appreciate that, wouldn't they?
Yeah. That's a nickname I've heard before, but it's like we don't even talk about it anymore, and that's going on right there, too.
That's not good. So let's talk. What else do they want to tell us about this? Prices were not disclosed yet because it's still in approval coverage and no unit size yet. But this is, well, you've heard it here first, right?
Right.
You've heard it here first. This was just approved. This is more details to come. They're working through this because this was unanimously, again, voted in on August 12th, shortly after our moratorium for no more construction. But John, this isn't a moratorium for construction.
Oh, this is
downtown.
just the waterfront?
This is just waterfront.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got confused.
They can do all that. They can do all that.
Okay.
Anywhere else you can build, just not the waterfront for the next 6 months. Then you get started again. That's it. So,
all right. That's
cool.
going to change everything.
Cool. It changes everything. Yeah, I mean, this is hot off the press. This is a week ago this went down, and so we'll see how far this goes, and when they get their construction loan fees, that'll mean they're going to start moving dirt and get cooking. So 25-story, 88 residences, another new construction building in downtown West Palm, and wow, we'll see how quickly these guys sell out.
Were you particularly familiar with Banyan Tree, the brand?
I was not until we read about this. So This is a Singaporean luxury brand in hospitality, right? Mm-hmm. First U.S. residential project under the Banyan Tree brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's got a full floor spa program. Sounds great. Huge wellness center. They got all the good stuff.
All the
Steam
fixins.
room, all the fixins, right? I don't even like reading it off anymore because I'm like bored of it. It's like, duh, just show me the one thing that you're doing different from all the others because everybody tries to one up everyone else.
We have a VR floor.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, let's just pick that out. It's just like default. Everything else that everyone ever did, plus we're going to add one extra thing so we could try to sell above the others, right? That's how this goes. Everyone's one-upping each other.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to keep it moving and talking about an area that, man, it is quietly also growing over in Palm Beach Gardens. Kolter's $117 million bet on Avenir as they invest in 222 home sites. That is a large master plan community. I mean, definitely the largest in Palm Beach Gardens. Wow. In fact, Kolter's total Avenir investment across roughly 1,000 home sites, that is after this week's $25.6 million for 222 more. It's still coming, Larry. Avenir is on the rise.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you already said this, I think. Their total investment is more than 117 million.
Yeah.
1,000 home sites. That's wild. Let's see here. So if you want to throw on the screen where Avenir is, Eric, that'll be a good start. And then, zoom out a little bit. So this is Avenir. You can kind of tell because it's huge.
I know.
And it's just like, you can tell where the construction is. Like, just look at that. They're building a new city, a new everything. You can zoom in a little bit, but like they got, all new retail, fire stations, police stations. I mean, just look, whole deal.
Zoom out again. I mean, just look how it's just brown there.
Yeah.
Versus everything else around it is green. I mean, it is like, it really.
Look, I mean, it's huge. It's huge. And you have Westlake just to the south, but Westlake is dwarfed by Avenir. And Westlake is known to be massive. So, which is yet another development community just a little south of there. There it is. Boom. You got it. So that was supposed to be a huge development community right there. That's huge. Okay. Just for everyone's benefit. And then you zoom out and then you go look at Avenir and you're like, wow, that's like 4 Avenirs, right? Or 4
I know
Westlakes. And so this is kind of interesting. It's like in a unique location. If you zoom out just slightly and then you like look at where downtown West Palm is, right? Just like you could just cruise east on that road that takes you east, and then West Palm's right there downtown. Right there. You're like, a little south of there is where West Palm is. So you're really quick to everything that you would want, plus you get the advantage of just brand new construction, lots of space, parks, just like a cool vibe. So Avenir has a lot of advantages. There are a number of people we've sold homes to in that community, and there's a number of builders. Kolter is not the only one, right? So it's kind of a unique place. So all right, so what did Kolter pay for this stuff? A Kolter entity paid $6.6 million for 144 sites in August 18th, followed by another $9 million for 78 sites the next day. They were just like, 16.6 million, 144 sites. They're like, I'll do another 78. Give me 78 more, right? 78 more for $9 million immediately the next day. 2 transactions totaling $25.6 million for 222 home sites. And they've had a good go of it. They wouldn't be buying more if things weren't working.
Yeah.
Right? Yep.
But when we say working, like, what would possibly impede your progress on this? Because it's not like they didn't know going into it what this was. Like, why? What would you see and be like, you know what? Is it because they sold already? Like, what would make you be like, you know what? I'm buying another 200. Let's do this.
Well, I think it's risk. It's a question of risk, right? So there's the developer that owns and or developed or set up that whole Avenir plot. And then they started selling them to different GL Homes. They Pulte, Kolter. You go down the list. There's a bunch of
they
guys.
Got everybody.
You got everybody there. You got everybody. You could do it all, right? You could have it all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, every notable builder, at least regionally, is on this list that I'm looking at.
Yep, 100%. And so you got everybody there, and you're selling them off to all these different people. And so these guys are buying some, and they're just like, okay, we could build one community here. Let's see how that goes. all right, we sell out, or we get close to selling out, or we feel like we're making a profit, we should go buy more. And that's kind of what's happening. And what's interesting about that is obviously day one, whoever bought these plots, like early on, they probably paid less than what they're paying today. And so now they're paying more for these lots, which would suggest prices go up a little bit, right? Especially as this community gets built out. Think about it. Early days, there's no Publix there. There's no fire station. There's no, workout equipment or gym or just community spaces, right? There's no Walgreens. You got to travel for all that. So you're selling these early homes like that, and so you typically get good value. Now, the trick here is if you're a buyer and you got in early, you probably got to pick a great lot, the best lot. And that's the whole game here when you're buying new construction. You try to kind of get in early if you can. The downside is you own a house that's going to be surrounded by construction for the next year. It's like 4 years, 5 years, right? Easy, because they just keep building. But yeah, what's the list here? You said we're looking at.
Well, I was just looking. I mean, I saw obviously GL Homes, Pulte Group's Devosta Homes, Toll Brothers, Kenco, K. Hovnanian, Ackle Homes. Like every name I have seen since I've been down here is on this list.
Did you see Lennar in there? I don't think Lennar.
No, I did not see Lennar. And if Lennar's on there, I'm sorry, I just didn't see it on.
No,
this
I don't
list.
think they are. I don't think they are. Lennar does something slightly different. These are more GL-like homes, and I don't know how to explain that, but like other than like a little bit more luxury, like Toll Brothers, a little bit more luxury than what Lennar typically builds.
Was GL Lotus and all the Lotus ones?
GL is like the Lotuses in Boca and all the other ones up for 441. So here, why Kolter keeps coming back and what Avenir is becoming. Avenir opened in 2020 and is planned for 3,900 residential units. 400,000 square feet of retail, 1.8 million square feet of office, a 300-key hotel, a 2,400-acre nature preserve, and the private Panther National Golf Course, which is Tiger Woods, Justin Thomas designed, right? Invitation only, 400 to 500,000 initiation fee for the private clubs.
Oh, that's it?
That's it, baby. That's it. That's all. But I mean, look at that. 3,900 residential units in Avenir. And so these builders have their work cut out for them. They get a lot to build and money to make because these things are selling. It's selling. It's selling at a healthy pace in my mind. It's not what it once was. It's not the 2020, 2021 where you have to basically win a raffle to get a house.
Oh, yeah.
That was what was going on in 2020, 2021. Now we have healthy competition. Homes are moving. Prices are trending up and or appreciating a little bit. That's happening. Actually, if you want, Eric, share. Let's see if this works for me. You can throw me on the screen. And so I'll show you on the map here. So let's see if this actually works. Click. There we go. Okay, so Avenir is much bigger than what I'm throwing on the screen here, but you can see just price points. Let's do this real quick. Boom. You can just see. Yes, perfect. Okay. And this is all the active stuff, but let's change this to the closed stuff.
Is each one of those little portions its own neighborhood?
So there's 86 resale actives. Yeah, you have, so there's a lot of homes for sale that are resale. That's not direct to builder, right? So there's new construction homes that you can go direct to the different builders and buy something that's maybe being delivered in a month or a year and a half. Or you can go buy resale now. This community has been around since 2020, so there's
Was there a delay? Like, did they put in the rules when you got some of these for the buyers that you can't resell for a certain amount of time? Because they wanted, well, I think we've talked about some of the other ones, just make sure I'm understanding it, that because they want it to be an actual community, not just people that are buying it for the investment. It's like, I'm never going to actually be here.
Yeah, exactly. So some of the communities will do that. GL has historically done that. I can't speak to the other ones if they have that restriction, but that's a thing. And so we've seen, let's see, homes trade on resale. There's been 186 transactions in the last year in Avenir. These are resale. So the highest sold in Avenir, it looks like 7.8 million. I'm guessing, let's see where that is. That is in which community? Let's check this. Let's check this puppy out. Ooh, look at this. I think this is Panther. Let me know if I'm wrong.
I would think.
Yeah.
Google really needs to update their satellite images. I feel like they're lagging, or maybe just stuff's going up too fast. I don't know.
That's it. Panther National. Yep. So let's take a look at this. So you can get into luxury. All right. So this is a new build. Look at this thing. This is pretty cool. Look at that view. That's the club. Not done yet. There you go. Under construction. Right. But let's see. So that's the most expensive, and then the cheapest home that has resold in there is $725,000. There's not a lot of $725,000 homes. Let's see where this puppy is. So, is it even on the map? I can't even see it. Oh, okay. Let's see. I think that might be the GL community. Let's see what so 725 sold. Close date 8/14. So just recently, 3-bed, 2-bath. How many square feet? It is living square feet, 2,100 square feet. Let's see the details here. Nice, cute home. Nice and cute.
It's cute.
Yeah. See, I can't tell really quick what it is. I'm pretty sure this is the GL community. I'll be Avenir site plan. Oh, it doesn't tell me. Okay. It probably does. I just don't want to read it. Okay.
What?
Oh, just what builder this one is. My guess is this is...
They're embarrassed. They didn't want to be on it.
They didn't want to be on it. So this is what, you can get for $725,000. A little bit smaller lots, et cetera, et cetera. This is the resale. I would say it's hard to find. It's hard to find this from the builder today. So there's a blend of homes, and there's a number of the buyers I've worked with have been in that, like, let's see if we can buy right around $1 million, $1.2 million. And like if you're in that range, you can find something nice here, like $1.2 million home. You could buy a 4-bedroom, 4-bath.
Yeah.
This is a good little neighborhood. I like this. This is what they look like.
I mean, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, great. New construction, high ceilings. You get everything. It's an open floor plan. Really good looking house. Got great bones. We'll put it that way. Great bones.
I never heard that term until you started saying it.
Great bones. Big boned. Big boned. This is 3,300 square feet. It's big boned. It's got great bones. All right. Anyway, so that is the scoop. You can take it back, Eric. That's the scoop. Anything else to share about Kolter's purchase here? I think other than they're making money, so they're buying more of these, and it's going in the right direction, and homes are selling. Palm Beach County single-family home sales were up 12.7% year over year. We've talked about this.
Which is still, considering the amount of business and turnover in just the last couple of years, that it still went up another 12%. That's a hell of a lot.
And we're seeing supply drop, as we talked about in our recent market update. So, things are headed in the right direction. Avenir is not Kolter's only master plan target in Palm Beach County. In 2019, they paid $52 million for a 270 acres in Westlake's development. And in June, Kolter broke ground on Alton Del Rey, an apartment complex. We've talked about that as well. Kolter's portfolio across our coverage has been Alton Del Rey, the Sutton at PBG, Flagler House, Buyout. They're all over the place. 1,000 plus home sites in Avenir. They got a lot going on. They're doing a lot. And so also, I guess, some other major developments in Avenir. GL has also picked up additional sites, 42 sites for $28.1 million, right?
Yeah.
DeVosta, 62 sites for $40.3 million. They're all doing it. They're all doing it.
They are very confident.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's take a little trip to Hallandale Beach as its first mixed-use destination. $370 million. Oasis secures $50 million to complete the East Tower. $162 million is the total financing on one tower. A $112 million senior mortgage plus a new $50 million mezzanine loan. Oh, wow.
Look at that puppy. Look how big that thing is. That's just one of the towers we're looking at right there. And that's why they needed $162 million to get it done.
Yeah.
That's wild. So, yeah. So they had $112 million at first. Now they took another $162 million.
Must be nice when you can.
Oh, here we go. No, they had $112 million, and then they took another $50 million.
Correct.
Yep. Totaling $162 million. Wow.
So this deal is the Cottonwood Group out of New York provided a $50 million mezzanine loan to developers Giuseppe. Man, that one's tough for even me. I apologize. Giuseppe La Disernia to finish the East Tower. Emil Schachter of WD Capital Group brokered it. So, man, it just everybody's still feeling confident in this.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, right. Yes,
we might as well do it.
Everybody's doing it. What
Eric,
are you, chicken?
That's right. That's what they're all these developers, they hang out together.
Yeah,
that's what they say to each other in these private lounges.
They do.
Smoking cigars, smoke-filled room. They're like, don't chicken out.
Come on.
Go buy that lot.
Right.
Get another $50 million in debt. You need that mezzanine debt. Pick it up. Build that thing. All right, where is this? Look at this. This thing's not even on the ocean, right? No. Zoom out a little bit, Eric. Yeah, I expected this. Okay, so not a bad location, quick, easy access to the tracks, and the beach and the boardwalk, all the fun stuff there. Right, there's a track right there. Have you ever been to that track?
No, I have not.
I think I've been there. Is it the dog track? What is that? I can't remember.
No.
Eric, zoom in. Am I making this up?
No, I see it. It's just to the south.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. This is cool. It's a cool spot.
I've seen social media videos of it, but I haven't been. Am I missing out? Probably.
You're missing out. When I've gone, all the girls that I've gone with, they have to wear the fancy
like
hats.
The Kentucky Derby?
Yeah, they have to be. It's all for dressing up.
Yeah.
It's literally the only reason I've been there is for the girls to go wear their outfits.
Mm-hmm. Did you have mint juleps the whole 9 yards?
I don't even know what a mint julep is.
I've never had one either.
All right.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, hold on for a second. So, Eric, throw on the screen the MLS so we can look at. No, you don't have to throw it on. Throw me on the screen.
There you are.
All right. There I am. All right. So let's just take a quick peek at what's going on around. So this is the area right around this project, which is so interesting because, John, what are they trying to sell these things for? I think they might say I think it might say on the thing. Do they have a price on any of this?
Well, one bedroom's from $580,000, 3 bedrooms up to $3.5 million. Select units are 2-story plans up to 4,750 square feet with imported Italian cabinetry, floor-to-ceiling glass, and smart home tech.
Let's see what has
I'm sold.
You're buying one, right?
All right.
You're in.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting to see stuff go up in these types of areas, because you can kind of see, wow, there's not too much that is traded. This is what has sold in the area recently. Let's double check that I'm not messing things up. No, this is it. So you can kind of see like 165,000 highest sold. Yet we got this one building that's going to start putting up $500,000+ units. You can see the area is pushing in that direction. And so this is like the product that's surrounding this, right? So as you look at this and you see the new developers, and this isn't the only project that we've seen in this area. Eric, you could take it back.
No, we've talked about Hallandale with a few others.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So you there's other projects that are, in this general vicinity that are going on, and this close to the beach. This could be a signal like, hey, I could feel good about buying something in this little sector for $150,000 when we know other projects are going up that are going to charge $500,000+. Kind of interesting. I guess that's the signal I get from stuff like that. That's why we watch what's going on.
Right. And clearly confident that they're going to get it.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, they got 162 million reasons to make that work. Right? So just for everyone's benefit, the Oasis Hallandale sits on a 10.1 acre site. It's a lot. So let's see. East Tower is a 25-story, 250 condos, which is already topped off. Completion is expected 2027. So they're getting close, which is why they were able to secure the next $50 million. The West Tower, 25-story, 250 condos, recently completed. So, man, they've been cooking, getting this done. They've clearly been selling enough that the lenders have confidence in giving them more money. There's 60,000 square feet of retail and restaurants. They got a Hubble Bubble. Do you know what that is?
No.
A KC Market. They got Oasis Fit, Oasis Dental. They got a Med Spa. They got other stuff that says luxury in the name.
Well, right. Again, we have gotten to that point that it's like, unless there is something that really stands out.
I'm bored.
I'm
bored.
And you hate to make the assumption, But considering the amount of money that have been put into these projects, you can't help but assume that all the amenities are quality stuff. It would seem to be implied.
Yeah, and to pay $3.5 million for a 3-bedroom over there seems like they're probably going to get it just because of the market, but it seems a little wild because you're surrounded by $100,000 assets all over the place
for now.
So you're, to your point, for now. And so if you make the bet at the $1 million price tag or whatever you pay for one of these units, and everything goes well, you could be in a good spot. But this is what we're seeing a lot of, that mixed product all over the place in South Florida. A lot of our buyers that come from out of the area, they expect to move into a market that everything is luxury when I go buy luxury. And it's not always the case. You got...
Not down here.
Yeah, you got, a dump next door to a $6 million house. You got a tear down getting ready to go off. It's just like all changing so fast that it's hard to like really dial in. And so the stuff that is in the perfect location / perfect neighborhood where everything is homogenous, those prices are like bananas. I've St. Andrew's Club is a perfect example of this. St. Andrew's Country Club, I brought a very well-off guy into that community from California, and this guy's used to living next to very famous people. His house is in a very famous
Beverly
area.
Hills or
whatever,
something.
You name it. I can't
Brentwood,
remember.
Right.
He had like 6 homes. So we walk into St. Andrew's. We go see the club. He's impressed. Then we start driving around the neighborhood, and he's like, "This is depressing," is what he says to me. I'm like, "Dude, this is most
Florida.
expensive
This is
neighborhood,
Florida, yeah,
in Country Club neighborhood for the most part in Boca. I mean, there's some others, but I'm like, this is it." He's like, "These homes," he's like, "I can't pay $20 million for this thing and look at the $5 million home over there. The energy doesn't work for me here," is what he told me. He's like, "I'm a big energy guy." So we didn't end up doing something in that neighborhood because of that, right? Which is bananas.
The energy. That's a very California thing to say. He goes, the energy.
I don't want to wake up in the morning, walk onto my balcony, and look at that, and it's like a $6 million home.
Look at this slum.
Yeah.
I live in a slum.
He's like, that's bad energy. He's like, I need to be surrounded by ultra wealthy. I'm like, well, it's hard to pull that off here. Right. It's hard. It's hard.
It's very diverse. It is diverse in every sense of the word.
But back to this. I mean, they have 70,000 square feet of amenities, John.
Right.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, they got all the bells and whistles, right?
You see, but no, but they only got cold plunge. Do they have the hot plunge to go with the cold plunge?
You know.
See, it's like, gosh, these are the things this is why you got to pay attention to the details.
Details. Not always do they have cold plunges though. So
That's
I'll give
true.
them that.
That is
I'll
true.
give them that. They have the sauna, they have the spa. Okay. All right, John. So there you go. They got it. They got the hot plunge for you. Total project value approximately $370 million. This is Hallandale Beach's first large-scale mixed-use destination. Residents previously had to drive to Aventura, Hollywood, or Fort Lauderdale for this type of live, work, play environment. So this is a big deal. That's what I was getting at. It's like kind of a bet on the future here. TBD.
All right. Fortune favors the bold. And the Hedrick brothers, they're breaking ground on a campus overhaul at the club at Ibis. Totally related. $63 million is the number we're going to throw out here. It is the membership-approved capital investment plan, which includes more than $30 million in recently completed work plus this new phase. So things are happening at the club at Ibis. Ibis?
Ibis.
I just like saying Ibis.
Let's also throw on the screen, Eric, when you have a second, the location, so we can talk about where Ibis is. We've done a number of transactions in Ibis. And so you can kind of see that real quick. Okay, so zoom out a little bit. All right, so guess where that's at?
Oh,
it's right by Avenir. It's where all the action's happening. It's really interesting. How interesting is this map when you actually look at it? Look at that area that's all like preserved.
The protected wetlands.
Protected wetlands, which is kind of interesting. So you got like literally every other piece of real estate developed on all around it.
Yeah.
Right. And then you got and then you got this huge wetlands that no one's traveling in, no one's going in. It's classic South Florida, what it once was, right? It's so anyway, zoom in. So this place has attracted over the years professional golfers, for sure. I know that to be a fact because we've transacted with them. Different people who are in the PGA Tour, bouncing in and out, they come here. And so $63 million for a new clubhouse. Now, these clubhouses, remember, they have multiple restaurants. I can't remember how many Ibis has. It's probably like 5+ restaurants. You know, they got the pickleballs, the tennis, all the amenities that we get bored talking about. We're not going to mention. They're doing all this. Let's see if they say anything else. So the club at Ibis is a 2,000-acre, pretty big, 33 neighborhood private golf community in West Palm Beach with 3 Nicholas family courses. They just broke ground on a multi-year campus transformation, and it's being done by the Hendrick Brothers Construction, right? So they got new facilities. Here we go again. Spa building, a casual restaurant, and a member activity center. Yet investment signals that established clubs are spending aggressively to compete with new entrants like Panther National. And that's the move here. Yeah. Like if they don't upgrade this stuff.
That's a great point.
People are going elsewhere because the big part about paying a crazy number of in fees every year and or just the buy-in is you have an epic club that everybody wants to live in. And so for those of you who haven't experienced a country club like the ones that are in South Florida, it's unique. People don't need to leave the community. And there's multiple restaurants, everything you could need, gyms, everything. Right? It's all there, and that's the whole point. So it better be epic if you're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. Did they say what the buy-in is for Ibis right now? I don't know if they show it here. Yeah. Let's see here. What are the other details? Well, I bet you we'll find it on here. Phase 1, interior renovations to the main clubhouse. So the clubhouse is currently 100,000 plus square feet, just for everyone's reference, right? It's a huge place. The future phases, upgrades to the main racket facilities, as we talked about. And they got 15 Har-Tru tennis courts, plus 1 hard court, plus 6 pickleball courts. Looks like they're putting in new pickleball and paddle or paddle, however you say it.
No, we're getting the pickle and the paddle.
You're getting the pickle and the paddle. That sounds a little slutty, John. Construction of a new spa building. So they're building new buildings. So they're adding more square footage to this thing. New member activity center, another new building, right? New bocce and basketball courts. See, they have everything here. They're completely renovating the fitness center, which is probably going to be epic. These places usually have pretty awesome places, and the restaurants are usually really awesome too.
Well, and this is one of the first ones I've seen where they flex the staff, on site. For example, PGA Master Instructor Martin Hall, who actually hosts the Golf Channel School of Golf, leads the golf instruction. You have Jay Berger, former head of U.S. men's tennis and an Olympic coach, leading the racket sports. I think that's very smart that the facilities, you can put all the facilities in the world, but to have somebody there that knows their stuff, not to say that other pros don't, but to have that assurance, when you're paying top dollar for something like this, it's like, you have that nice facility, but we got that nice facility and Martin Hall.
Yeah. That's kind of part of the shtick here, that they have, you have exposure to these individuals, right?
I'm just waiting for it to be like, you know what? Tiger's the golf pro here. It's
right?
going to happen, right? It's not going to be enough just to have the course designed by them. They're going to pay him extra to be like, no. You're going to teach a couple times a week. We're going to put your name. You're going to be running, the course.
I feel like that's kind of like Vegas residency for actors, you know what I mean? Or not, actors, for performers, musicians, right? It's like you're coming to Ibis for 6 weeks a year, right?
You might be onto something.
It's a thing. It's a thing. But this fitness center is 16,000 square feet. It's big. It's big. They got a lot going on here. Okay, here you go. So St. Andrews spent $27.5 million week. Broken Sound spent $40 million week. So as they say, this is a club's arms race.
It really is.
Yeah. This is the arms race of 2026 for country clubs. build out an epic facility, and then Panther National is going to be epic and brand new, so hard to compete with that. And it's going to be for ultra high net worth residents. So you got a lot of that. So that going on here. Let's see. I thought they might say, they don't show the buy-in, but the buy-in's north of $200,000 in most of these places. Easy. So you can expect 200, as we talked about. Panther Nationals like $500K for their initiation fee. This is what you should get if you're going to spend $500,000. Right. You're just going to give somebody $500,000. Just for context, right? You don't get it back. You just give it. Yeah, they call it an initiation fee because they used to call it a member equity. And so member equity signals that you pay it. It's your equity in the club. Right. And then when you leave, you get most of it back and or all of it back. This is how they used to do it. Now the clubs down here are like, no, you just pay us the money. We're not giving it back to you. We're spending it all immediately. That's what happens.
Do you think they also do that in part to try to keep people like that buy in here to actually stay in here, even if you're not there all the time? You know what I mean? That this isn't just a quick turnaround to try to, make a quick buck and be on your way.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Actually, let's throw on the screen. Give me the screen, Eric. Give it to me. But yeah, to your point, it's like you have to make a conscious decision to be here, because once you buy in, there's a lot more to lose than, I bought it for $5 million and now I got to sell it for $4.9 million. Right. Or there's a little bit. No, you're also losing $500,000 if you move out of Panther National in a year. And that's where a lot of our buyers, they come down with the idea that they want to be in a country club, and then we actually talk through what it is. Maybe we show them some stuff, and most people move away from that, because the reason you move into a country club is because you want to use those facilities and you really know you're going to use them. If you're like wishy-washy about that and uncertain, you're not going to bet hundreds of thousands of dollars. A lot of people are attracted to these country clubs because when you look at it on Zillow, you see that some of these homes aren't priced as expensively as homes outside the country club. Why? Because there's a larger pool of buyers running around looking at the home that doesn't require a $200,000 or $300,000 membership buy-in. So in the club, those homes, especially in Boca, what we see is those clubs were built, some of their homes were built in the 1980s, and so you got higher ceilings, and then you're outside of that area, and then you see the 1970 home, 8-foot ceilings versus the higher ceilings in the club, and the prices are better, cheaper in the club. But then you find out you got to spend $300,000 on top of that, and you can't finance that $300,000. So that's cash out of pocket. Oh, yeah. Right? So now it's just like as a non-starter for most people. And, that's kind of the point of the country club. It's to eliminate that. But when you do that, it also tends to suppress your price. And so when you think about investing in a country club community, you really need to understand how country clubs have performed over the years from an appreciation perspective. Country clubs are up there with like the condo market. When things change, country clubs tend to sit on the market longer, prices tend to come down, and so it becomes harder to sell. Historically, pre-pandemic, country club homes would sit on the market for 6 months. That was just the thing. Oh, okay. 4 months, 5 months. Why? Because there's not a huge enough pool of buyers. Pandemic happens, everything gets accelerated. People are buying in country clubs. Pandemic ends, interest rates go up. All of a sudden, those days on market start moving up much faster than the rest of the market, which is interesting, right? Yeah. And so, again, what happens when days on market increase? Usually prices tend to come down a little bit. So things weakened a little bit in the country club space over the past 4 years. As the market changed, it weakened much faster than the rest of the market. The rest of the market softened and maybe remained flat. Country clubs went negative a bit, or days on market were longer, right? And so these are things to consider when you're buying in a country club. There's pros and cons to this. So you better really just want to be in the country club if you want to buy a country club property. So. All right. On that note.
All right, let's wrap it up. On behalf of Larry Mastropieri, broker owner of the Mastropieri Group, and Eric Cardona, who I left you out at the beginning again. I did it, Eric, and I'm sorry. He's behind the camera. He's very camera shy of Podcast Junkies, handling all the graphics once again. And I'm John Lobbs of Discover South Florida. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Have a great week.